We're here at Otakon 2022 with Mr. Watanabe-san. How you doing today?
Fine, thank you. How about you guys?
Very good, very good.
That's good.
I'm happy that you're able to come to Otakon 2022 after being a prestige member for so many years and on the translation team and having so, you know, what brings you back now that you've been gone for so long?
So, I mean, I've actually been attending Otakon for quite a while as a guest as well. But, I mean, because of COVID,
yeah.
I haven't been back at Otakon for over 3 years now.
Oh, cool. So we could just jump right into it. The biggest thing on the table is the Trigon series that you're working on right now. That a lot of people, you know, are happy. Some people are upset. I mean, what made you want to go back and hit such a classic, and knowing, you know, the disparity between fans and what, you know, kind of the feedback that you would get there?
So actually, the creative side is actually handled by my partner producer Waki.
Yeah.
And how he launched the project was that there was actually a producer from a company called Toho. He got approached by Toho saying that, well, I love Trigon, so do you want to make Trigon with me? So Toho producer Take went to Naito, the author, and just went straight up to him after the talk show. He's like, "Can I make Trigon? I mean, like, is there any way I can make Trigon?" And that's how we started. That was before 2017.
Wow.
So yeah, the Trigon, I joined Orange 3 years ago. So even before I joined, Trigon was in development.
Can you talk about any of the major differences that we're going to get between this series and the classic?
I mean, as a promotion strategy right now, at the current trailer, we haven't really shown anything beyond what's shown, so I can't really talk about it.
Okay.
But I mean, there's much more to come, more than what you see on the trailer. So.
Okay.
It's always something to look forward to.
Right. Your Studio Orange. You guys hit a lot of major projects. What would you say for you felt like it was like your most noteworthy, or you really felt like, man, we really hit it on the mark with this one?
Well, I mean, that's definitely Trigon right now.
Yeah.
I'm seeing well, I mean, our CEO is the lead animator on all of our shows, and he has the potential to do so much. But I mean, technology, the budget, schedule kind of stuff, that really bounds us to certain quality.
Right.
I mean, for illustrious BEASTARS, we did the best we can do at the time, and we're happy that everyone's happy. But honestly, if we had more, we could do so much more. So every show we do, we try to push ourselves to do more. So we try to negotiate for more budget, schedule, or more to try to develop technology to be able to achieve what creatively is inside our CEO's mind.
That's the key word that I keep hearing, especially with animators, is that budget word, that B word. Like, if you don't have the right budget, no matter how, I'm not gonna say no matter what you do, it's not gonna turn out the way you want, but you can definitely tell when corners get cut when it comes to animation, you know, whether a scene gets reused or certain things look a little wonky, that the budget is key. Like, I guess what determines what type of budget you get, I guess, does determine what the property is, or does it, I guess, like you said, your CEO.
I think it totally depends on what you negotiate with.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the business that already happens, and people accept the business. So by basing off the estimated business, then they estimate the budget for the allocation. So, and if you're making one core series, then you get that kind of budget, depending on what the market value is that they expect to get from it. So this could be like, is it streaming on Crunchyroll, is it streaming on Netflix, or is it streaming on like Disney Plus and stuff? So, or if you're going to do a lot of merchandise, I mean, if you're just going to do regular merchandise, that's it. But if you are going to go full-on merchandise series, so if you're going to have a huge giant sculpture of figures and stuff that people would buy or not, it depends on all that kind of stuff to get the budget.
That is something that I've always wondered. Does merchandising lead how, you know, successful, you know, your project is going to be? Like, you know, if your shirts aren't selling, if your toys aren't selling, does that then cut everything going forward?
I mean, there's always a collector's value for merchandise.
Yeah.
But what really decides the budget is the amount of people who's watching. That's mainly. I mean, there was more people who's watching, there's likely more merchandise will sell. And among that, more people, there's the few who has more spending money to spend on more higher end merchandise and stuff. So I mean, mostly it depends on the mass of the viewership.
Okay. You a gamer? You play video games?
Yeah.
What are you playing right now?
I just finished Elden Ring. 300 hours into it.
300 hours.
I enjoyed every single hour of that game.
I think I've gotten to the tutorial where like you create your character, you come down and like the thing knocks you off the cliff or whatever. Apparently you can beat it. I'm like, there's no way, you don't have any armor or whatever. But I haven't really gotten into the point because those games are so intimidating.
It's designed to die.
Yeah. Like, what about that like just really drives you to like keep playing like those Souls games like Dark Souls?
I never played Dark Souls or anything. Elden Ring is actually the first actual that series of death game that people call it in Japan. But like if you're like slashed by one big move, then in your next life you were able to dodge that. That brings so much adrenaline into your mind. So I mean, if you can continue that for series and keep on dodging that move,
yeah,
it's so. I mean, it's like you're your own master, martial arts master or something, and it's so. Yeah, I mean, it reminds me a lot of NES games. So NES games were designed to you're gonna die no matter what,
right?
Until you learn how the level is.
The patterns,
Yeah.
One life, you know. I feel like a lot of kids nowadays don't know anything about that. They hop in the games. There's a lot of pick up where you left off. There's a lot of like ways to cheat the game or quick resume, like to the point where when they remaster games now, there's like a lot of resume, a level like old Nintendo games, stuff like that. So you can just jump back in and you can beat it. And the same thing, I was doing a thing for the Ninja Turtles collection. The old Ninja Turtle games were impossible. There was no way that a 6-year-old was beating.
I mean,
these
it's a quirk guzzler. It's
right.
It was an arcade game.
Right. And I just couldn't imagine any kid between the ages of 5 to 10 beating any of these games. Like you had to have a guide or something.
Yeah.
I guess and it just reminds me, like you said, $300 in Elden Ring. I don't know if you ever played Final Fantasy 14, but that game has consumed a lot of my life, and to the point, I've had to like call out of work because I just had to, do something like that. Have you ever like ventured into MMOs like in that world?
MMOs, it's been a while. I don't think I've really got into full MMO. Like anything really close was Diablo, and that was like I only did to like Diablo 2, and that's pretty much it. So I never went into the whole MMO. I didn't play Final Fantasy. I didn't play World of Warcraft. I haven't really played MMOs.
So right now you're spending a lot of time in Japan, obviously with the development there. How long have you been there now?
I've been there since 2009, so that's about 13 years. I think.
13 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how easy was that transition going back to Japan after being here for so long?
It was really tough.
Yeah.
So I grew up in I was born in Japan, but I grew up in the States. So I grew up in LA, and I wasn't actually expecting to move back to Japan at all. I mean, I wanted to, but it wasn't something I was planning to do. I thought I was gonna basically live over here for the rest of my life. But I met this producer, the owner of a studio called Madhouse, when I was staffing at Otakon. And he's like, well, I'm opening a US branch, so why don't you come work for me? I'm like, I mean, working in anime, there's no chance like this. So I said yes. And I started working there. So 3 months in, it's not 3, that was 2006, so 2 years in, he gives me a call one day saying that, well, you want to travel to Japan? I'm like, oh, a business trip, yeah, I'd love to. He's like, I'm like, when am I flying out? He's like, a week. I'm like, okay, week, business trip, later, I could do that. How long am I staying in Japan? 2 years. I'm like, wow, okay, so that means I'm moving to Japan, now I'm not taking a work trip. So I said, can I have a month to prepare for this? He's like, well, if you want to quit the job, then you can. He didn't say it in a threatening way. He just said well, I mean, if you don't want it, you don't want it. I'm like, okay, I think this is a chance for me. So I just moved to Japan at the time.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, obviously, that come to Otakon, their entire dream is to go to Japan, not realizing how intimidating it be, with the language barrier and just not knowing where you're going, the level of preparation and money that you need to even stay down there for a week. You know what I mean? The time difference coming, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. I mean, because you can't do Japan in 3 days. You can't. That's not a weekend trip.
Also, I mean, living there, it's a total different culture.
Yeah.
I mean, being in an animation studio, it's a creative environment, so there's a lot of unique people everywhere. So it's more open and accepting. But even so, for example, I play some jokes, and they're like, I don't understand your American joke. I'm like, Wait, I don't understand what you don't understand about Joe.
How is your studio set up? I mean, obviously you guys don't have like, you know, video or anything like a walkthrough. How do you guys, would you say like really spacious, like nobody's on top of each other?
So right now?
Yeah.
Right now, our studio is pretty spacious. I mean, I used to work at Hand Drawn Studio where it was really narrow spaces, but right now, my desk is wide, so I'm really pleased with that. And everyone else's desk is the same size, so.
So like bigger than this room, obviously, right?
I mean, yeah, no, we have a, if you've been to my panel, I showed the pictures, but we have a 4-story building. And also we additionally got a new studio from start of this year. So we have one big floor, about twice the size of floor size in that 4-story building. So it's a pretty big room. And we have 120 employees, always working inside the studio. And we could probably hire 60 more people with the space wise.
How are you guys? I mean, obviously the animation industry is notorious for, you know, the not mistreatment of workers, but just overworking, over labor. How you guys? What are you doing to kind of combat that? Like to make sure everybody is getting proper time, you know, and getting paid properly for the work.
So one of the things I found interesting is that even though we're anime studio, we're CG studio.
Right.
And CG studio works in an entirely different, what do you call it? What's not common sense, but not habit. I can't remember the English word. Sorry.
I'm thinking too. Like, was it?
It's not law, but common mind. No, common.
I know what you mean.
Okay, sorry.
I know what you mean.
But yeah, so when it comes to CG, their competition is games and human resources. So that's why you have to adjust your adjust your labor more towards the gaming people. So our company, we have our 8-hour work limit, and some people do work late overtime. So we have at 10 our network shuts down. So people can't work anything beyond that.
Yeah, I need that in my job, man. It's time to go home. Clock out. No more. Well, thank you. I really appreciate you for taking the time to come out and do this interview with us. And definitely gives us a little bit more insight on industry. And glad to hear that your people are fairly getting treated over there at the company. But like I said, thank you for coming to Otakon 2022.
Yeah, thank you very much, Cheryl.
No problem. Thank you, Mr. Watanabe. Thank you.